This is a Yamaha Timberwolf 250. It starts up and runs, but after it runs for a few minutes, it starts to take throttle really poor, and then after it's warm, it just does not want to restart. So this is it turning over when it's warm. I don't even think you can see it. So that spark is it's barely lighting up this light. There's a little bit of a light going, but it's barely lighting it up. It's a really, really weak spark. You can see if here, let me just take a spark plug. Put a plug. Now, this against the side here, we should see, here, let me zoom in. We should easily see a spark coming from this plug. You can see it's just got nothing. So definitely think spark is an issue on this. So we'll just go through testing the stator and the pickup coil, and I'll show you what we come up with. All right, so this one's pretty easy to do even without a wiring diagram. You can see this is our stator wires. So all we have is 3 white wires, which is your 3-phase charging system. You can see on this one it's got 1 broken wire. So that's going to need repaired to get the charging system working properly. But this is your source coil and your pickup coil. So those are the only 2 plugs you have. So you know if you've got 3 whites, that's charging, and these other 2 have to be your other 2 coils. You always need a source coil and a pickup coil. So one of these, we're just going to check between wires and look for continuity on our ohm meter. So those 2 wires you can see 274 ohms, and then let's see what the other 2 have together. 350 ohms. So that seems pretty in line with a source and a pickup coil. So now we'll just check volts AC output on both of those. So switch your meter to volts AC. See if I can get that to stay in place. Yeah. Okay, so we're on the coil that was 350 ohms or so. This isn't working very well. There we go. Okay, so now I've just switched to volts AC, and we're going to crank the engine over. Alright, so I saw 87 volts, so that's got to be our source coil. And that should be enough to power up a CDI box, especially cranking kind of slow. So we're going to check the other coil. This should be our pickup coil. Now, the pickup coil you're looking for, I mean, sometimes just a couple of tenths, depending on if it's going slow, but at least usually around a half a volt AC to get a good signal from it. Yeah, so I saw 0.7. That should be plenty. So now keep in mind, if you're not using a fluke meter, a lot of cheap meters don't read cycle fast enough to catch that pulse from the pickup coil. So you definitely want to use a fluke to be able to pick up a pickup coil voltage AC. But both of those look good, so I'm not worried about either of those being bad. So the next place I'm going to look is my wires coming out of my CDI box. Now on your CDI, you're going to have, that volts AC is going to go in there, and you're going to get your pickup coil in, and then out of your CDI box, you're going to get your wire sending to the ignition coil to give it spark, but you also have your kill circuit in there. So that's what I want to check next. Give me a second to get this connector apart. Alright, so now I've just got a wire with the connected to this black-white wire, and that is going to be my kill circuit. So you can see I've got continuity to ohm. When this wire is grounded out, that kills the spark from the CDI box. So right now the key is off, so we should have continuity to ohm, or continuity to ground. So if I turn the key on, we should see open, and what we see is a whole lot of kilo ohms there. So it's not quite an open circuit. So that's making a connection to ground with the key on, which is probably going to be the problem here. So you also want to test the kill switch itself. So when I flip the kill switch to kill, I get good continuity to ground. And then I'm probably just seeing a high number because I'm using a magnet here on my, so the better I get that connection, the lower those ohms will be. But, so if I flip this back to run, there I'm still getting kilo ohms. And now, if I just wiggle this key switch around, Yeah, it does seem to make that number move, which... So at this point I'm suspecting the key, because the kill switch itself seems to work fine. But really it could be either one at this point. So now I'm going to unplug those one by one and see which one is causing the problem. So let me get up to the key switch. Alright, so now I unplugged my ignition switch, so that's eliminated from the circuit. You can see I've got an open circuit, which is what we want. So now I'll flip the kill switch to off, and we've got continuity to ground just like it should be. So the kill switch seems to be working just fine. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. So I'd say that is a bad ignition switch, causing the CDI to have continuity to ground. And it's weird, it's a lot of resistance, so it's just enough where it's letting out a little bit of spark, but it's enough to keep it from running. So if we take that, what you can do to verify that is you can use your terminal tools and pull this black white wire out and then reconnect that, and it should start up and run with strong spark. Or you can go ahead, which is what I'm going to do, and replace the ignition switch and then see if that solves our problem. Alright, I got a new ignition switch plugged in. It's in the off position. So off, we have continuity to ground just like we should. So now I'm going to flip the switch to run, and it goes open circuit just like it should. So now we should be able to come over here. Well, actually I'm going to have to plug this connector back in, and then it should start up and run just fine. I'll show you the difference in the spark. Alright, now I got my connectors plugged back into my CDI, my new ignition switch on. Go ahead and turn this on and start it up, see what we get here. Alright, so you can see how much brighter that flash is. Now when I was watching the screen recording, it looked like this was not a constant spark. I don't know if that's just the I don't know, the frame rate of the camera, because when I'm watching it in person, it's nice and steady just going. So let me show you what it looks like with just a spark plug. There we go, that's how you pre-gap it against the ground. Just kidding. Alright, zoom in here. So remember on the last one, we just had no spark. So there you can see that flashing plenty. So that's the problem on this one, just a little bit of continuity to ground on that kill switch on the CDI. So just a few simple ways to test that and get you running again. I hope this helps somebody. Thanks for watching.